Hello, everyone.
Hello.
We're going to let 1 or 2 minutes for everyone to have the time to join. Please keep your microphone shut until the end of the presentation to avoid any disturbance. And after each presentation, you will be able to ask questions in French and in English. If there are some French, I'm sorry, the presentation as stated, it would be in English.
Yeah.
But you will be able to ask some question in French that can be translated as it's a problem that is concerning France. Thanks a lot for your patience. Thanks a lot, Yves, for presenting not the situation in itself. It's rather a view of ANCCLI.
Yeah, right. I try to resume in my PowerPoint the situation today and to explain you the view of ANCCLI. And of course, Jean-Paul Lacotte, which is with us, it's a member of management board of ANCCLI and member of High Committee of for Transparency, and he could give, of course, his opinion of the situation too. And
so the question can be welcome after, maybe.
Yeah.
And Yves, it's not in presentation mode at the moment. So if you manage to put it full screen, that would be, I think, a bit better. If you cannot, okay, that's not a problem, but...
Okay. Here?
That's perfect. Exactly.
Okay,
you can
see
start
everything?
Yeah, you can start whenever.
Okay. So I can begin now, yes?
Yeah,
okay.
Whenever you want.
Okay, thank you very much. Thanks for Malcolm and Nadia to invited me to try to make you a quick presentation of the situation in France about a so important reorganization of the nuclear safety. Today at the Assemblée Nationale, you have a discussion about this topic. So it's really a quick decision from the government, and really a quick situation where they would like to change and to do something like a reorganization between ASN, which is a French regulator, and IRSN, which is a French TSO. So first, just to remember, because it's important to know that IRSN and ASN are in fact not so far institution. IRSN was created 20 years ago, and it's really the work of, at this time, of parliamentary, and it's really coming from lessons from Chernobyl and the crisis situation. And so at this time, they really they decided to do this organization with a TSO which is independent. It's really to develop to confidence with public and after the situation of Chernobyl. So it's not so far. You see the years 1919, and so it's really in fact, ASN, you probably know too, it's an independent regulator since a really recent law, which is a law regarding transparency in France, coming from the years 2006. So you see these two institutions are really not so old, in fact, in the field of the nuclear. So what is the situation? In France, you have a specific council calling Nuclear Policy Council, which is a specific council just near the president of the Republic, Emmanuel Macron. And the 3rd of February, you see it's not so old too, they examine this Nuclear Policy Council decided to look how to develop and to ensure that national nuclear industry is really ready with operator, regulator, TSO, everybody are really ready to the so many new projects coming in the years coming. New reactor, you know, continue operating of existing fleet of reactor to 50 or 60, and to deal with the important fuel cycle and research and development. So we know that in France we have in front of us a really big job regarding nuclear activity. And in this context, the government decided decided that it could be interesting to bring together, est-ce que vous me voyez ou pas, Malcolm, ou pas?
No,
Alors,
we cannot
attends,
see you.
je voudrais changer ça parce que en fait, moi, j'ai tendance à parler avec les mains. Donc...
It's just on the voilà, c'est parfait. Là, on te voit.
Okay. Yeah. And just like I said, so the government decided to bring together technical skill of the regulator on the TSO, the French regulator ASN, and the French TSO, which is IRSN. And so, why did they do this decision? First objective is to ensure independence, transparency of French nuclear safety system. More resources, more prerogative for the regulator, which is independent of the government. IRSN is a public institution, and to have really to strengthen this independence regarding nuclear activity. The second one, his objective is to strengthen ASN skill and power at a time where you see we have an important nuclear program and massive investment regarding extension life of nuclear reactor. And so really lots of challenges regarding technological. One of the main reason of this decision, all I explained here is what the government say, is not what ANCCLI say, is what the government say in a press release, what he explained, why he decided to do this, to bring together this ASN and IRSN. And one other reason is to have more fluid process, decision-making process between expertise and decision. At the time, we consider lots of people, all members of IRSN, lots of operator, international member, lots of people consider that it's important to have an independence between decision and expertise. That's what we have actually in France. So they want to bring them together. It's a reason where we are a little bit afraid of this decision, to have only one structure, one institution, the both expertise and decision. You see just an example why they decided to do more fluid relation between a decision-making process and coordination with expertise. So it's an objective, it's a decision, it's a feedback from the government. It's not what we feel in reality. Sorry. The third one is, as you know, in France, we consider, the government and the operator consider that since 20 years ago, we didn't do lots of work, lots of investment, lots of attractive action regarding nuclear activity. And so we lost competence regarding nuclear activity. And so the government want to increase attractive of nuclear safety professions and to give resources for this. So second step, so you see, so it's the first step, it's a Nuclear Policy Council of 3 February. And between the this time, you see you have a press release of the French Minister of Energy Transition, which asked to the President of the ASN, Bernard Dorzuc, and to the Director General of the IRSN, the TSO, Jean-Christophe Niel, and to the Administrator General of the Atomic Energy Commission, CEA, which is Jacques, I say wrong, and to make proposal on proposing a common working method to implement this evolution of the safety nuclear organization in France. So we have at the ANCCLI with Jean-Claude, we are invited to have a meeting with this minister. And we explained that we have the feeling that it's going really too fast, no study, nothing to be sure if we are in the right way, if it's necessary to change immediately this organization, or if it's necessary to change this organization, why? Where are the positive point? Where are the negative point? Which services need to be changed? What better relation, closing relation should be made, and so on. No study about all of this. And so we explained to the ministers that it's too quick. It's really too quick. We really need to, if we decide to change the organization of the safety in France, which could be a good decision regarding the scale, or regarding all the nuclear activities that could arrive in few and 10 years and many years. Perhaps it could be interesting to have a look about this organization, but to change it so rapidly without any robust study, we really don't understand. So we have this discussion, ANCCLI, Jean-Claude, with the Minister of Energy Transition. And so you see on this slide that they want to do it quickly. So you see this part of the slide on the left, that we have today discussion at the National Assembly about a law calling acceleration of procedure related of the construction of new nuclear facility. You have discussion today and next week and last week about it, and they want to put on this law few words, few articles explaining that they want to bring together technical skill of ASN or of IRSN. Not all the detail of the future organization, but they want to put an article about it. And so we really think it's dangerous, because we do this way without study, and perhaps it could be a good decision, but perhaps not. And without study, it could probably too quickly to decide to do it. And what they say too is that is really to create a sort of framework where they are sure they could develop the future program of nuclear reactor in France in the good way, with the best and highest level of quality and nuclear safety. That's what they want. The question is, in fact, does the nuclear safety system made up of ASN and IRSN need to be reformed again now to take into account this future reactor construction program or not? Did we really need to change it? And if we need to change it, did we really need to change it now and so quickly? It's really the question that everybody asks, and we have not really a precise answer about it. And that's why you see everywhere on the web, on social media, and so on, so many interaction and reaction of lots of members pro and anti-nuclear everybody are really afraid. They didn't understand why we do it so quickly, and they really need and want to know, to be sure that the decision that the government takes today will be the good one, and that tomorrow we have really strengthened this safety in France. And because we have already a situation that we consider which is a good and a robust one, perhaps it could be more robust tomorrow. But if we decided to have a more robust nuclear safety organization, we should put before on the table the reason and positive and negative vision actuality of the situation. And so, sorry. So to well understand, I try to put up. Okay. So first, we consider that it's important to have a separation between risk analysis doing by IRSN and the exercise of the regulator on the decision-making process. These two separate actors strengthens trust for society, for citizens, for member ANCCLI, and we feel that this trust with society for two reasons. First, the transparency, because if actually when the ASN take a decision, we have really a good view of the different steps coming from study, from research, from expertise, all the steps when we arrive to the decisions, because they are done differently by IRSN, by researchers, and then with all this information, ASN do his own vision and do his decision. But you see, you have different actors and different steps. And if tomorrow all of these are in the same structure in the future new regulator, perhaps we didn't see as well as now this separation of mission and with this different step that help to build, in fact, the decision. The second one is that in case of crisis, which could be possible, which is always possible, the distribution of the role of scientific analysis, technical support, and education information doing by IRSN, and the decision-making process, which is done by ISO, give increased robustness in a long time, over a duration of a crisis. So we really think that it's for this, for example, this on two reasons, but of course there is other one, but for these two reasons, it's necessary to continue to have an independence between expertise and decision-making process. And so, sorry, the other example, which is important in the nuclear safety organization to develop this confidence and this contract of trust with civil society, is that, nuclear safety is not only a question of regulation, procedure, or mean of control. It's, of course, and more a contract of trust. It's a long time to develop this contract of trust between the society as a whole and industrial operator. And we know that in France, we make really a long time of work between operator, regulator, TSO, and civil society to build this confidence, to contract this trust, and to develop, in fact, now people have a really good confidence of this organization with four actors, operator, regulator, TSO, and civil society. And so we consider that if we succeed to develop this confidence and this robustness of the vision of the nuclear organization in France, it's due in part to this separation between expertise and decision-making process, even if they are, of course, linked. But we have really two organizations, two parts, two vision, and they work together, of course. But from the point of view of the civil society that we are, we think it's really so important to keep this view and this state. Oh, sorry. So by the discussion that we have with the ministry, with Jean-Claude, we succeed to make on the table some principles that are really so important to develop this future organization of the safety in France. First, we succeed in a press release that the government say, you see the point 1, 2, or 3 are writing by the government in a recent press release where they say research and expertise in nuclear safety in radio production will be maintained together, because at the first time they want to separate expertise and research. And we know, you know, where you work in Europe, that it's really so important to keep good link between research that give food, in fact, for the expertise and gives them capacity to do a good expertise by this research. The second point is that the executive roles of control and expertise will remain separate from the decision-making process. So it's really a good way. How we will do it, it's another question. But we see that they understand that it's really important, even if we have a new organization of safety, to have this separation between expertise and decision-making process and making process, and to have a clear separation between the both, okay? And of course, so important to keep information, transparency, technical dialogue, as we have developed with IRSN for ANCCLI and ANCCLI since so long times, and which really develop with the public a good coordination and a good trust and confidence with the public. And so we succeed. These 3 points are really discussed by ANCCLI with the ministry, and we really succeed to have this in the table of the discussion, and they write it on a press release end of February, if I well remember. So you see, it's really not so far. It's really end of February. And so now, if we look the position of the ANCCLI and of, in fact, lots of people, I think that we are all agree that we have in France, in front of us, a so important, probably new nuclear activity, perhaps new reactor, EPR, perhaps live extension of the reactor to 50 or perhaps to 60. We know that we have discussion now in France between EDF and the ASN regarding perhaps this vision of more than 50 and 60 years old of the first reactor. And we know that we have really perhaps SMR, small modular reactor, in the future. So we know that we have in front of us an incredible probably work and decision to have to take regarding nuclear part in energy in France. But we think to decide to do now, at a time where we need more than before, probably, a so robust organization of the safety, to decide now to change it, perhaps because we need to strengthen something, okay? But to decide to do it now without any robust study, without any analysis or so on, it's it's really incredible. Nobody understands it. Really, nobody understands this, why we really need to do it so quickly in a new amendment in the Nuclear Acceleration Act. So what we say at the ANCCLI that stop the system, take the time to do this study, take the time to put on the table the position of the different actors, put on the table the point of view of the thing that works well, what works well, actually, what works well. And if something works badly, what did we need? What did it need to be better? What it need? And so we say, put all of this on the table. It's really the fruit of this preliminary reflection that could help to take a decision. But don't take now a decision. Take the time of the study. It could take 3, 4, 5, or 6 months, not a long time. And we have the time to do the study before to take a decision. That's what we say at the ANCCLI. And for the end of my presentation, we think, yes, it's time to have a calm time, a peace time, to have this reflection, to put it slowly on the table. We are too under pressure since the beginning of February. This decision of the government, so we really need to have a calm time to put the good principle, the good analysis, the good study on the table, and we have the time to make a decision. The government has the time to make a decision, and it's necessary in the field of the nuclear activity to conserve, to keep this confidence that we have built in the time to do this work in involving all the stakeholders. Thanks for all. Sorry, I hope I'm not be too long. I hope not.
So it was actually really good because we have now half an hour to exchange and give question, and I think it was really clear and dense to set the frame of the situation. You mentioned at the beginning Jean-Paul Lacote. I don't know how Jean-Paul Lacote is doing in English. If he wants to say something in French or in English. If it's in French, I can translate. So I will let you tell me, Yves.
Yeah. Jean-Paul, ton micro est coupé, Jean-Paul.
And I can translate.
Ça y est. Mon micro était coupé maintenant. Je préfère parler en français. Je peux parler en allemand si vous voulez aussi.
Alors, on va essayer de rester sur anglais, français pour l'instant. Ce que je propose, c'est de traduire alors au fur et à mesure.
OK.
Je vais juste informer chacun là-dessus. So I will just translate what Jean-Paul will say.
Alors, je voulais signifier Yves parle au nom de l'ANCCLI.
Ouais.
Et moi, je parle aussi au nom de l'ANCCLI. Je suis le vice-président de l'ANCCLI, mais je représente les associations. Et entre autres, je représente au sein de l'ANCCLI la CLIS de Fessenheim, qui a été mise en place en 1977. Et à l'époque, on a créé à Fessenheim la première commission locale. À l'époque, ce n'était pas d'information, mais de surveillance. Par la suite, ça a été, c'est devenu commission locale d'information. On a été obligé de se battre aussi pour que le mot surveillance reste à Fessenheim.
Okay. Je vais commencer peut-être par traduire ça.
Oui.
So Jean-Paul will take the floor not only as a vice president of ANCCLI, but also as a member and president, I think, of the CLI of Fessenheim, which he helped created back in 1977. And at the time, it was not a CLI properly. It was not a local commission for information, but a local commission for vigilance. And this was really important for Jean-Paul to have this word.
OK. En ce qui concerne l'IRSN, je suis depuis présent à l'origine à la formation de l'IRSN. Un tout petit exemple. Avant la constitution de l'IRSN, il y avait des organisations de l'État qui étaient présentes et qui, à l'époque de Tchernobyl, moi j'habite depuis 50 ans au bord du Rhin, mais du côté allemand. Et à l'époque, les associations qui représentaient l'IRSN avant ont prétendu, on dit que le nuage nucléaire n'avait pas traversé le Rhin, n'avait pas atterri en France. Et je sais qu'à l'époque, avec nos organisations, on s'est dit il faut faire en sorte qu'il y ait un organisme qui se mette en place et qui donne des informations un peu plus sérieuses et surtout avec une possibilité d'ouvrir ces informations à la société. Et je vis depuis la création, depuis une vingtaine d'années, depuis la création de l'IRSN, ce cas. On peut être pour ou contre le nucléaire, mais je veux dire, il faut qu'on sache de quoi il s'agit. Et jusqu'à maintenant, dans la décision qui est en train d'être prise, je n'ai aucune information qui m'a indiqué pourquoi on ne continue pas de cette façon aujourd'hui.
Okay, I will try to summarize it. Jean-Paul mentioned that he's living at the moment on the frontier between France and Germany, next to the Rhin, and back to the time of Chernobyl. Some organization was saying that the cloud of radioactivity stopped at the frontier, and the information basically was hard to trust or to get, and that was part of the creation of IRSN, to get basically some expertise and a proper organization to provide the right elements.
Alors, ce que l'on est en train de vivre actuellement, c'est, comment vous dire, les réacteurs en France deviennent vieux, ont des graves problèmes, et au niveau de la production de l'électricité nucléaire, ça pose de graves problèmes. Macron a trouvé une solution, il faut appuyer sur l'accélérateur pour la production de réacteurs nucléaires. Et il veut que ça se fasse vite. Alors, sa position à lui, elle est très claire. Il a déjà pris la décision et il dit, bon, ben oui, le citoyen peut en parler, mais on s'aperçoit très vite que la décision est prise. Et donc, au niveau de l'ANCCLI, au niveau des associations, la mienne, FNE, et au niveau du haut comité, c'est intolérable. C'est pour ça que je soutiens ce qu'a dit Yves. On peut être pour ou contre le nucléaire, on peut développer ou stopper, mais premièrement, il faut que ça soit ouvert à une discussion publique qui prend du temps, car cette décision entraîne des choix qui… Enfin, moi, je veux dire, à la limite, j'ai 78 ans, ça ne va pas me déranger, hein, mais pour la société, pour nos enfants, petits-enfants qui suivent, je veux dire, la décision ici doit être prise sérieusement en prenant son temps et pas de cette façon-là.
Okay, thank you very much. I will put in the chat what you just said and read it at the same time. At the moment, reactors are aging in France. Macron wants to urge things, and he accepts discussion, but shows that the decision is already taken. So no matter what the discussion, how the discussion is going. So this is unacceptable for the different organizations involved and different stakeholders involved in the debate. So Jean-Paul is calling for a public discussion as if that should take time and and peaceful, so that the best outcome can shows up for the future generation. Voilà.
Merci.
That's thank you very much, Jean-Paul.
I just would add,
sorry, Yves, and after
yes, just would add at the moment, really sincerely, everybody, most of all the people regarding so many different actors really consider that we have the time and we need to take time and to do this study. And it's only the government that consider that we do it now and quickly, but most of the actors on nuclear activity feel that we have the time to do a study, we have the time to put the thing on the table, as well as the time to take the decision, but the good decision for strengthens our organization in France.
Thank you very much, Nadia, as a member of a TSO and a chair of NTW.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much to ANCCLI and to Yves, to this very nice and very, clear presentation you made, with very clear steps to be taken by the government if there should be a kind of agreed decision, or at least decision which would be acceptable by public. I would like to mention, as a chair of NTW, that NTW is extremely and have made a very good relationship with IRSN through the years, from the beginning, I would say, and they strengthened in between. We were involved in the EU level program called EURAT, which deals with the joint programming and joint research on the radioactive waste management. And through these activities, as a linked third party to IRSN, we obtained the possibility to access the expertise, to access the information, to involve the civil society representative in the activities on rad waste management, and also through this improve the decision making, or at least the governance issues related to radioactive waste management in Europe. This is extremely important, and therefore we support the goals, objectives of ANCCLI and also of IRSN, and we instantly started to connect and with IRSN representative, and looking forward to what they would like, where we could help them in a way. I must also mention that it's our future role in the EURA 2, which is now building up and have to be submitted by October, is very questionable if there will not be intention to involve civil society in the research project any longer. So for that, this could impact NTW as a whole in the future, because if we will not get support by IRSN to be involved as a actor there, I really don't know how we could be involved. I doubt seriously that we could be involved through regulatory authority, French regulatory authority. I don't think that they have such programs or such, activities. And this could mean that civil society experts and organizations could stay out of the future research in this important topic. I can also see that in other important topics, civil society is not involved until now, like the new reactor or the improvement of reactor operation or lifetime extension of reactors. We are not officially involved through different programs or projects. And this is because there is no support through the expertise function, as we call it. So basically, based on that, I would like to know how we can help, and if we can help, what will be the decision making from, let's say, from now on, if you can tell. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nadia. And to give a bit of more of context to what you just asked, I think it's indeed concerns Europe and internationally the different TSO, because CITEX network in which you are involved and TW is involved, a network of a TSO and civil society organization trying to militate for safety, are also very worried and concerned about this, the urge of this decision. So I think it concerns more than France. So
it's really a big part of our anxious or worry or concern. You can ask them as you want, but we all know that IRSN work a lot at European level for research, for supporting a working package on a European program and work package and so on. They have really a big involvement of IRSN, a member of IRSN in all this European program. And at the time, we really don't know how it could be tomorrow, really. They have not so much discussion about this European level. And so it could be really anxious, and it could be one part of your action, Nadia, what you could do. You ask what you could do. I think what you have at the moment in France, you know, ANCCLI have published a sort of position saying, okay, asking for taking time. And we see that last week, the CLI of Orano-La Hague have taken a motion supporting this decision of ANCCLI, this position of ANCCLI for taking time. And this morning, the CLI of Golfech taking the same motion regarding the position of ANCCLI and asking for taking time before to take a decision for a new organization of the nuclear safety in France. So I think that NTW could take a sort of a motion like that, and probably to focus more of interaction of European level of IRSN in the past, and how to be sure that they continue tomorrow, because it's so important for European civil society and more European researcher and more European connection with European Commission and IEA to keep this involvement of IRSN and this sharing of information of works of IRSN with European level. So I think it's necessary to try to say something like that in the position of NTW.
Thank you very much.
Là-dessus, je peux dire quelque chose là-dessus?
Oui, Jean-Paul, pas de problème, je traduirai.
Oui. Pour moi, comment dire, la réaction de NTW est pour moi très importante. En tant que franco-allemand, j'ai les deux nationalités. Hein. Mais en tant que franco-allemand, la problématique qui se pose à mon niveau, à notre niveau, c'est la poursuite du nucléaire. Et Macron s'est arrangé, effectivement, pour qu'au niveau européen, il y ait une décision qui a été prise en disant le nucléaire, c'est très propre, ça va nous permettre de mettre en place des énergies alternatives. Donc, produisons, fabriquons du nucléaire. Et apparemment, il a eu du succès au niveau européen, puisque, bon, effectivement, apparemment, au niveau européen, le nucléaire est propre.
Yeah, Jean-Paul just said that as a Germano-French, if you say it like this, he thinks that it's very important to have a position because Macron has managed to get at a European level some kind of agreement so that the nuclear energy is considered clean. And so to this comment, I will also maybe read the comment of Christine from REC, so Réaction en chaîne humaine, said that thank you for the clear assessment. NCCLI and we REC ask ourselves if the speed and the procedure of the quick decision is not meant to distract from the extension of the operating life of the old reactors. See the current problems of corrosion, fissures, drought due to climate change, etc.
C'est-à-dire si ça finalement, je ne comprends pas bien là le truc.
Et si c'est une distraction?
Distraction, c'est-à-dire que ça nous écarte de la réalité des problèmes, c'est ça?
Mm-hmm.
Alors, yeah, I understand this question. We have perhaps you know that in this question of I don't know the word in English, but the problem of corrosion, we have two news since last week, is that corrosion is really more and more important than expected in two reactors, in Tanly and in Cattenom, where we have discovered a really big corrosion, which is really problematic. So we see more that the work doing by IRSN and ASN and EDF since the beginning of this story, which begin more than 1 year or probably 2 years now, we see that the fact that we have actor responsible like EDF, but like ASN and like IRSN, and the fact that these actors are independent and do their work himself, but they work together at the same time, that really strengthens this safety. We see that with the corrosion, if we don't have this organization, we probably didn't succeed to find all of this as well as now, and didn't succeed to be probably, I don't know if it's too much, but we see that the fact that the IRSN point that the corrosion is only the beginning of the story, and we probably discover in the time more and more things, that exactly what we discover now. And so we see it's important to keep this capacity of a TSO to be independent and to say, okay, for me, I consider that it's really the beginning of the story. We probably discover more, and keep careful that it's not only a small corrosion. It could be sometimes more of that. And we see with Tanly, it's really incredible, but practically all the size of the corrosion take all the size of the TO3 also. So for distraction is probably more to put this topic in the same time as we have in France a big discussion regarding retired life. It's probably a sort of not so transparency way, I consider, because to do it, nuclear activity is really important in France. We are the most important nuclear country per inhabitant, and to do this decision of reorganization at a time where we didn't speak about it nowhere in media, nowhere. There are no discussion in French television and so on, because all the television are regarding Ukraine situation and retired life and decision in France. And so we have no discussion everywhere with the public regarding this topic.
Par exemple, pour donner un exemple dont avancé un peu par Yves, mais de façon précise, depuis 2 ans, donc la centrale nucléaire de Fessenheim est fermée et on commence le démantèlement. Et personnellement, j'avais fait une proposition il y a 2 ans en disant, ben, puisqu'on ferme cette centrale, au moment de la fermeture, ça serait intéressant que l'IRSN fasse des études pour voir dans quel état se trouve la centrale nucléaire de Fessenheim. Ça fait 2 ans que je me bats là-dessus et donc le président de la CLIS de Fessenheim est contre, c'est un député républicain français, et puis la réaction de l'ASN est aussi négative, quoi, hein. Et quand on a les informations actuellement présentées ou dites par Yves, je veux dire, les centrales nucléaires, pour le moment, sont vieilles et on a besoin d'informations pour savoir comment on continue, parce que sinon, on va être obligé de s'arrêter subitement, et là, alors là, effectivement, là, on aura un problème au niveau de l'énergie.
Thank you very much. So, as I wrote in the chat, what you said is that since 2 years, Fessenheim nuclear power plant is closed and decommissioning has started. And you called yourself for IRSN to make some studies there, but the deputy and the ISN were against it. So generally, Jean-Paul was saying that information is really needed for power plants that are getting older. If not, we may have some problems like energy blackout. So we will share this information through NCW, the statement of ANCCLI, and continue, because as Yves, you said, the discussion continues at the Parliament.
Yeah.
So we will see how this goes, but I think it's was interesting to have this webinar, because we are some there, but a lot of persons were willing to participate but could not, because it's the annual event of ERAD on one hand. On other hands, others have commitment, for example at INEF. So they are really happy to have to be able to watch the recording of this event, which really shows that people are watching the situation not only in France but all over in Europe, and we'll see how we continue this with Yves and NCW to keep you informed and continue do our best for transparency and safety.
What I could say that is we have a look with Coralie and Jean-Claude of the amendment on Act actually that are in discussion at the Parliament, and we have the feeling I would like to speak really with transparency. For us, the decision is making. They have decided to bring together ASN and IRSN. They probably write it like by an amendment in the law. I think the way where we should now work on, the way where we should push all our energy is about all the details regarding the new organization, and to be sure that we keep independence between expertise and decision. We keep research close to expertise, to food, give foods to expertise. So keep information, transparency, technical dialogue accessible to civil society. All this work with European level on European program, we should be really vigilant to be sure that all these topics that are so important in the future organization of the safety are be well kept in the future organization.
Thank you very much. Jean-Paul, ton micro est coupé.
Ah, ça va. Je voudrais dire encore quelque chose. Alors, à l'IRSN, il existe un groupe de travail, de recherche, corps, multiples, avec des participations multiples. C'est là qu'on discute. C'est là qu'on discute. Et là, je ne comprends pas pourquoi le gouvernement n'a pas proposé cette discussion à ce niveau de ce groupe de travail. Et là, à ce niveau-là, on a échangé avec les syndicalistes et on a mis en place une motion. Par exemple, on fait des discussions sur, il y a un groupe de travail sur le changement climatique. Et je veux dire, il faut qu'on en parle. Et si d'un seul coup, ça n'existe plus, qu'est-ce qu'on va faire?
Yeah, there is a group of reflection or some kind of strategic committee, let's say, within IRSN, which is called CORE. And Jean-Paul really doesn't understand why the government did not refer or just discuss or dialogue with this instance before taking any decision. And it's really worrying because there are a lot of, it's sad and very worrying because there are other topics that could have to be discussed, such as climate change, for example, and its effects. So with this, maybe if you have a last comment or a last question.
Just would like to ask that Malcolm, you can perhaps find on my LinkedIn, LinkedIn, I don't know the word, mon compte.
Yeah. Profile or account.
Yes. I have put a video from workers of IRSN. It's really incredible because we know that the workers at IRSN are really incredible. They work really well. They are all invested in their job and they do really so incredible research and expertise and so on. But in the same time, they are completely involved in IRSN structure, institution. They consider it's their family. And it's really so important at a time where workers sometimes are not so close with their family and with their enterprise, with their society. We see that with the IRSN workers, this I don't know the word, I don't have enough word in English, but I think it's important to see this feeling and this capacity of the worker of IRSN to say, yes, we are an institution, we are in it, and we are with it, and we live with it, and we work for it. And it's really, I think at this time, it's important. And it's important for the capacity of these workers to do their job well, because they feel well in the structure where they are.
Indeed, and I can maybe just give a short testimony, because we have been marching with them, with some colleagues from NCW during the last demonstration, and they're actually today demonstrating while the parliament is discussing this their fate, basically. And I exchanged with some, and really they were feeling helpless at some point, and also feeling that they were they never felt so strongly close and united than now. So it's with what they and also very concerned, because they are not only working on nuclear power plants, not only working on nuclear facilities, but also on radioactivity in medical and in other activities. And this is apparently really not taken into account. And who and what and where it will go and it will be managed. Nadia, you said that NCW, we will make harmonized statement with regards to the new development based on ANCCLI inputs, and we'll keep you informed as much as we can. And thank you a lot for ANCCLI and especially you, Yves and Jean-Paul.
No problem. Thanks for your invitation. And I can keep you informed of decision on the future, what decided.
It's great. Okay, with this, have a nice afternoon all.
Yes, thanks. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Au revoir.
À la prochaine.
À la prochaine.
Prochaine, Paul.